What's up guys, it's Brady here with Gons and Oak and Nova, and in this video we are going to talk about the importance of lifting in the correct range of volume, also how detrimental it can be to miss days at the gym, and lastly, what happens if you lift too much volume or too little volume. So let's get into it. I'm excited for this video. This is really important information. This is stuff that at Become Nova, myself and Anthony, this is what we live by when we are coaching our clients and when we're building programs. This is the type of stuff that we totally geek over, and I hope that you find it informative. At any time during the video, if you say, hey, this is a pretty good video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I also want to give all of our new subscribers a free program. So at the end of this video, all you have to do is go down to the description and find where it says Big Arm Program, and you can download your free effective Big Arm Program, just our gift to you, just to say thanks for visiting our channel. We're gonna start this video off with a good whiteboard session, so here we go. All right guys, so here we have my whiteboard, and hopefully you can see it pretty well, but basically right here we have a bell curve, and on the y-axis we have gains, and on the x-axis we have volume. So what I want to talk about here is volume and training in the right volume ranges. Right here represents very low volume, and when we're talking about volume, I'm mostly talking about how many effective sets that you are doing in the gym in order to build muscle. If you are doing very little volume, you're gonna see very little gains. But as you start increasing your volume, you're going to see an increase in gains until you get right about here, which is basically our maximal recoverable volume. In simpler terms, that means how much volume your body can handle, where it can still adapt to and overcome the training stimulus and grow. Remember, if you are not adapting and recovering from the training stimulus, then you are not going to grow. After that, if you keep increasing the volume, you're actually going to see a decrease in the amount of gains you're seeing. Basically, because of what I just said, you're not able to recover from that high of volume, and you start to see worse gains because of it. Now, right here, this range is what we call the peak gains area. This is where you want most of your training, and when we're training clients, that's where we make sure to build up into. We progressively overload until we hit that perfect range where they're gonna see the most growth, and we try to keep them in that range for a solid amount of time so they can see the best gains that they've ever seen before. I wanna point something out really important though. This is also where a lot of fatigue is built up, so you can't simply lift there forever. This is when really important autoregulation and deloads come in handy, because then we can know, all right, you've reached kind of like your fatigue limit, and we'll kind of deload you and then bring you back up to your peak area. I'm gonna draw something new on the board now, and this is what a lot of people mistakenly do, especially beginners, no matter what your age. This is what they do in the gym. All right, so this now represents volume and the days of the week. This dashed line still represents the peak gains area on the graph before. One of the biggest mistakes that we see beginners making in the gym, they do too much volume some of the days of the week, like in this case, Monday and Tuesday, they overdo it. And then the rest of the week, they either skip or go very easy. And then they think they're working hard because they killed it 2 days of the week, but then they're not consistent enough to finish it the rest of the week. And now a few mistakes here. For one, they're overdoing it at the beginning, not finishing strong at the end, so consistency is not there. But also the amount of volume they're doing on these days is too much. It's over the peak gains range, which means their sets and volume are not effective. Now I know that we're taught that hard work is extremely important, and yes, hard work is extremely important, but something that's more important in the world of weightlifting and building muscle specifically is consistency. You cannot work hard for a day or two and then skip the rest of the week or just go easy the rest of the week and expect to see good gains. It's similar to dieting. You can't just diet 4 days of the week and then binge 3 days of the week and expect to see results, and that's similar to weight training. Muscle is not built from 1 or 2 good workouts, but in fact it's built from multiple good workouts and the right volume range, all smashed together in a training block again and again and again. So your goal should not be to kill it 1 or 2 days of the week, but your goal should be to lift in that range of volume that is perfect for you and at an intensity that is high enough to stimulate muscle growth. Now, something I want to talk about too is that you can't just smash all the volume into one day, which is why this model that I showed you of killing it on 1 or 2 days of the week just doesn't quite work. You can't effectively recover from more than about 9 to 12 sets per muscle group per day. Now, there That's very generalized, so don't take that as gospel, but that 9 to 12 range is basically where you've maxed out the amount of effective volume for one muscle group for a day. Now, the effective range of volume that you can recover from for an entire week might be closer to 20 per muscle group. So that makes it that you have to split up your workouts per muscle group into at least 2 times per week, maybe even 3 or 4 times per week by increasing the frequency and basically dividing up your effective sets throughout the week. So if you lift too little of volume, you're not gonna see many gains. And if you lift too much volume, you're not gonna see many gains. And if you lift too high of volume on 1 or 2 days of the week, you're not gonna see many gains. So basically, this is so important because so many people are making this mistake where they're just not lifting as effectively as they could be. Now, if the goal is muscle hypertrophy and building as much muscle as possible, then we need to follow what the bell curve says and lift in that range of volume that is most effective for building muscle over a long period of time and being consistent. Yes, that might mean that you finish a gym session feeling fine and like you could lift more. In fact, that's great because that means that you're recovering great and you can hit a hard session the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next week and the next month. And that's what we want. We want to accumulate as much effective volume over time as possible and be consistent. So next time you think about skipping a day in the gym, ask yourself, have I hit the effective volume that I need for this week? And if you haven't, then maybe you shouldn't skip the gym because it's basically making all that other work that you've put in that week almost useless. We need to become more consistent lifters and not just hardworking sometimes or when we feel like it. Anyway guys, that is the video. Hopefully you learned something here, and if you have, make sure to give the video a like. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we're gonna see you in the next one. Peace out.